Hey, good morning. Episode 342 of Odd Musings.
On this Valentine's Day.
Yeah, what a wonderful day. I swear.
Also Ash Wednesday.
It is, yes.
Also
Yes.
the day after Fat Tuesday.
Yeah,
It's
how many
quite a week.
punchkis did you eat, Scott?
How many what?
Punchkis.
So I was usually I don't do punch keys because I love them too much. And this year I was planning on allowing it, but my mom ended up buying punch keys Friday. So I allowed myself 1.5 punch keys over the weekend and decided that's enough. So I did not get any on Tuesday.
I had a total of 2, not in a row, but
Mm-hmm.
total of 2. So
I absolutely love punch keys. I could eat them every day if there was no calories.
yeah. Well, they're a good, very fatty donut. So
Yes. The difference between a punch key and a regular jelly donut, isn't there like more egg in the dough or something? They
yeah,
do something different.
Yeah, it's not quite like a donut. So it's more of a
It's a heartier dough.
yeah, it's a more pastry than just donut. Of course, they all do it different depending where you go to.
True.
Here in Detroit area, Hamtramck, being a very Polish community, has several bakeries that have always been the places to go. I've had them over the years, just haven't had them recently. Not far from me, we have a good bakery that I always forget about, except when punchki time comes. I'm like, oh, I should go down there and get a punchki. Other than that, I don't go there. There's nothing wrong with them. I just forget about them. But I don't do a lot of bakery stuff. And if I do donuts, we have a place out in Ipsy I like to go to. So
yeah. Now the biggest mystery about punch keys, if you don't know what they are, like they're similar to a jelly donut but different. But the biggest mystery of all is how it's spelled versus how it's pronounced. It's like Packi or something like that.
It's Polish. It's
right.
So the spelling is like I think Polish and a lot of those Eastern European bloc countries, their alphabet is similar but different than the English alphabet.
Right.
So the pronunciation of the letters is different than what we have. So
right. Yeah, because the A
yeah
in punch key it's got like this weird like symbol near the bottom. So I'm guessing that indicates it's pronounced different than what we do.
Yes.
So, but they're delicious. If you don't know what they are, go check them out.
Yeah, I saw a really cool meme, and everybody's been doing memes from the Super Bowl with Travis Kelce yelling at Andy Reid, and he said he goes, punch key is like multiples, and there's like another word that they had up there that was supposed to be for one, like punch or something like that.
Yeah, plural versus singular.
Right. Which is hilarious on that. So
for sure.
Well, let's get some ad reads out of the way, and I'll try my voice not to die too completely. I still haven't got my voice back 100% yet, but we're working on it. But I'll start us off with Loringer Family Chiropractic Center PC, located in Belleville, Michigan and Dexter, Michigan. And they take great pride in providing the finest chiropractic care to each and every patient, offering on-site digital x-rays, orthotics by foot levelers, young limb oils, aromatherapy, full line of vitamins, all in a family-oriented environment. Give them a call, 734-697-4244, or find them here on Facebook, where you can just look up Loringer Family Chiropractic Center PC.
All right. And typically I give my Team Titan spiel. I'm right there. You know, we're realtors. We care about you. It's Valentine's Day. Let us be your professional home matchmaker this year. So you can give us a call. Just look me up. But I want to give a quick post about our Kickstarter, promote that through Bardstone. So we've up to 1675. We've added a couple more backers. We're at that spot in the middle where things kind of level out and plateau, and then it ramps up again. So we really need you guys to get out there and check it out. We have here, I'm posting on the side the link. So if you don't remember the link later on, go to bardstone.com. We have a hard copy edition. Kevin Meinert did that cover. And then we have 4 variant covers for our paperback. Now, this here is an artist copy. That's why there's a strip going across the middle there. But this is cover A, as we call it. I did that one. But we also have an homage cover to Captain America Annual number 8. Kevin Meinert did a cover also, and then Brett also did a cover for himself also. So those are all available. Go to the link, check it out. If you're thinking about backing this, do so earlier than later, because the sooner we cross that finish line of the minimum funding, a lot of other people start jumping in. So it's really vital there. And then the other way you can help us is under that green bar there where it says back this project, click one of those, share the link, share the love, and let your friends and family know about us so they can get in on the fun. It's an amazing book. It's just under 200 pages, full color, front to back. And this is a true work of love. And last but not least, if you get in there, I did 2 sketch covers live over the last 2 days. I just drew these up really quick. This one here I did on Facebook 2 nights ago. It's of one of our plague doctors. This one here I did last night on TikTok as a live. That's our Frankenstein. So if you go on there and you select either the early bird special, there's only 10 slots available of those, or you do as an add-on a sketch cover variant. If you want one of these, just send me a message that you want it. First person to claim them will get these as their sketch covers. So there you go. Crimson Shadows. Check it out.
All right. So what'd you do this past week, Scott?
So great week in real estate. Had 2 closings last Friday, so that was nice. And then right now we'll be announcing pretty soon. We're kind of in the next phase. We're prepping for the spring rush that's coming. Easter or first of spring. That's where people a lot of times mentally are for their next, the next wave of people listing their houses. So we're putting together a couple quick seminars here. We're going to have a sellers focus seminar coming up on March 5th. And then at the beginning of April, we're doing a buyer focused seminar. So stay tuned for the information on there. Follow me on Facebook, follow Team Titans RE on Facebook. You'll see all the details, and the invites will go out through Eventbrite. And it'll be an educational session. We have some sponsors who are going to be there to talk about the mortgage side of things. We have a professional painter who's coming, who's talking about freshening up your home, whether you're getting it ready to sell or if you just bought it and you want to, make it your own. So keep an eye out for that. But entertainment wise, I've done 2 things, which I'll talk about a little bit later. I saw the Argyle movie.
Okay.
Jill and I went and saw that. I was looking forward to that. So I'll talk about that in a little bit later. And then the other thing is I've went ahead and re-signed up with Netflix, but I got their $6.99 basic package. So we're watching the final season of The Crown. So that's what we're watching on that. So I'll give a review on that so far.
Okay. Yeah, I was watching last week. I ended up watching on Netflix. I hadn't watched it in probably 20 years. Was Band of Brothers.
I saw that was on there. Such an amazing series. I'm going to have to watch that again.
Yeah, I watched it. It still holds up. Quality was great. I forgot how many different actors were in it. Some as they were just starting to get known a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Some that were unknown became known later. So a lot of big name people throughout the whole thing. I forgot that Simon Pegg was in an episode. He played an American soldier.
Yep.
So I forgot all about that.
They also have on there a World War II series where they colorized the video and stuff. I just started watching that too.
Yeah, they're
footage.
Yeah, they're pulling some of that from different like History Channel stuff and things like that.
Yeah,
it's kind of interesting. The colorization, colorization's gotten so good the last few years for a lot of this stuff. Way better than what it was when it first came out, like 30, 40 years ago, where they put the movies on TV or colorized, and they look really bad.
They almost look hand painted.
Well, in some ways they were. I mean, it's kind of the way they did it back then too. Even they had a little computer work, and then of course the mouth and teeth were always still kind of black and white because that was hard for them to get in there.
Right
now with AI and other programs stuff like that, a lot of it's done almost automatically. So
right, yeah, it's quite amazing. So, and then the last thing too, I think I'm going to want to watch is I might be pronouncing it wrong. Griselda on Netflix. Sofia Vergara, as you've never seen her before.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for that. She looks nothing like the actual woman. The woman actually that you saw her was really quite ugly. And part of it is I think they tried to ugly down Sofia Vergara a little bit, and that's kind of difficult to do.
Well, I guess they did a nose prosthetic and eyebrow prosthetics to make it look a little bit more like the real person.
Right.
But she plays this hardcore female drug lord. We're used to seeing her. She does this persona in public that I don't think is anything like her real self in private, where she's kind of a bubbly airhead type personality.
Well, that was her. I didn't watch it much, but that was her Modern Family character.
But she even does that even like when she's a judge. She kind of the way she talks and stuff. I don't think it's her real life her.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Yeah, I've
seeing
seen her
her there
everything
is so
she's done over
different.
the years. If you go back 20 years ago, she did a movie called Chasing Poppy, and she's not. And I felt like her accent. Maybe they dubbed her. I don't know, but I felt like her accent wasn't as thick as it is now.
Yeah, I think she exaggerates it for
Yes,
her persona.
right. It's
But
just you see that with several of these actors like that that have that persona. It's like the Jennifer Coolidge. She's really playing the more the dumb blonde, which she really started with the Legally Blonde movies and went on from there for a lot of roles. But people forget she wasn't that dumb blonde when she was the MILF in American Pie.
right.
So,
Yeah.
which is where that got national attention as a term.
Yeah.
Because so she is the original in terms of what everybody knows.
Stifler's mom.
Yep. Did you watch the Super Bowl at all?
I did. Yeah, it was. I've heard a lot of people say they thought it was a boring Super Bowl, but defense is a part of the game, and both teams' defenses did a good job of stopping the offenses. So it was a low scoring game, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was a good game. It was fun to watch. Went overtime, which is funny. There's a lot of people that are predicting it would go overtime.
Mhm.
I got nothing against the Chiefs. I really wanted the 49ers to win because Brock Purdy still gets just so much crap from people. And he's a guy that's worked hard to get everywhere he's at. He puts in the time, getting onto Iowa State like he did. He was third string there, pushed through, become the starter, and injuries of other people help, but he didn't just earn it. He kept it. So once they saw, oh, he could play, great. Gets to the draft. He's Mr. Irrelevant. They love to talk about how much he's Mr. Irrelevant. And he owns it. He says, yeah, I was Mr. Irrelevant. I was the last one drafted.
Very last. That's like 262nd or something. I forget the number, but it's in the high 200s. It's amazing how much he parallels Brady.
Yeah, Brady was like 160 something when he was drafted. So he was drafted earlier than what Purdy was.
He was 6th round still.
Yeah. But it was Brady was the same thing. He goes and he's the third string.
Yep.
And they don't think anything of, he was fine in college, won a national championship with Michigan. He's not going to do anything pro. So he'll just be one of those guys to be a backup for several years. And
Drew Bledsoe at the time was a major quarterback. So no one expected Brady to really get time.
Yeah, Bledsoe gets hurt. The next guy gets hurt. Brady comes in and
just shines
right through. And I like Brock Purdy. I think he says I think he's good. I think he's got a long career as long as he stays healthy. He showed by taking this team in his second year to the Super Bowl, may not have won it, that he is a contender, though he's still not getting from the media, especially the props that he should get.
Well, I think that some of that is his parallels with Tebow. He talks a lot about his faith in God, and I don't think the media likes that. But the other parallel with Brady is, so he was this second or third string quarterback for his team, and his main quarterback, which actually came from the Patriots, came over. He got hurt, and then Purdy was allowed to step up, and he's done very well since. And in the Super Bowl, he had some really tight situations, and he showed amazing brilliance in how he played his throws under pressure, and he was the youngest quarterback ever in the Super Bowl. So he has quite a future.
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll be seeing more of them. But next year, go Lions.
Yeah, we'll see what the Lions do. I'm looking forward to their season. Vegas, I think, has them picked 5th overall for next year, which is still amazing considering where this team came from. So really looking forward to next season. I think the Lions deserved a lot of criticism in the past, the SOL, all that stuff. But I think, I've been a big critic of them over the years. I think they've shed that. I think we can let go of the SOL because even, yes, they lost and they had a collapse at the end of their final season here, their final game of the season here in the playoffs, but they still did amazing. And no one would have picked at the beginning of the season them going that far and doing that well.
Now, of course, next year's Super Bowl is in New Orleans. And with the colors there, it looks like the Chiefs could be back, the 49ers could be back, and then the Seattle Seahawks. But
that's a bright green. Is there someone with a super bright green?
Yeah, I think it's the Seahawks.
Is it the Seahawks? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like Eagles are like a dark green.
Right.
Oh, speaking of Did you see that Super Bowl commercial where the teams that were birds are all flying? They're flapping their arms. And you had the Eagles and the Ravens. I don't know if they had the Seahawks, but
Yeah,
I thought that was funny.
that was funny. That was a good one.
Now there is a purple background. Could that be the Ravens?
Yeah, it could be. I think what's happened is, they know we've all caught on because I've seen so many conspiracy theories. I've seen after the game, I've seen several videos of, well, here's where the script came in and showing how this happened, that happened, and video evidence of a couple things. It's like it was second down, and you've got Mahomes crossing the line of scrimmage, and they gave him 1st and 10, and they were showing he's not even at the first down, and stuff like that. So there's a lot of interesting things. And I saw another article from a guy 20 years ago who was mysteriously killed not too long after revealing the stuff he had worked on as a lawyer for the NFL, that it is scripted entertainment.
Yeah.
And it's the refs that are the ones that are influencing all that.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, I mean, all sports are entertainment. And anybody who thinks, do they script the entire season? Probably not the entire season. But I think when you have billions in the gambling industry on single games, I think money talks.
Well, that's what a lot of this actually is talking about. It's more of the keeping it entertaining, having certain things go a certain way. And they don't just say always towards the sports betting, but I think that's the more heavily influenced last few years.
Yeah.
And I said that a couple weeks
ago.
Scripted
as like WWE.
No, it's not a full script, but I think it is manipulated.
I think there's manipulation. I think there's it's just the fact of money. Is it done at the top level? Maybe not, but I could definitely see, look at the sport of boxing, how tainted they became because people started mistrusting boxing because of the Don Kings and different characters who are dirty characters who are part of boxing where nobody trusted the results anymore.
Right.
And it's because of gambling money. So billions of dollars are billions of dollars. And especially, inflation, all this stuff going on, people, hey, I'll give you $1 million to look away during this play. It might happen,
Things happen.
So,
well,
I just watch it for fun. So that's all I care about. I will say this. I'm not a massive football fan.
Yeah.
But I'm a big casual fan. And by that, what I mean is every season when it comes to an end like this, I realize how much I miss football on in the background. I love football in the background so I can kind of pay attention, watch, look at the highlights, but then go back to do what I'm doing, then watch it again or watching the highlights in the morning. I enjoy that. I don't want to sit and watch every game 4 hours at a time.
Yeah.
I'm not that level fan, but when football ends, I feel like there's this big drought now.
Well, all we've got right now, we've got basketball and hockey. And if you're not into those, you've got nothing. And for basketball, I could care less about the NBA anymore and haven't for many years. I feel like it's just not fun anymore, and that's me. I do enjoy college, but I don't watch a lot of that. For sports in general, I like sports. I like watching sports, but I can't watch constantly all the time. I'm kind of the same with casual. I like having it on. Football, it's one of those things where, okay, it's done over with. I'm actually good for a while because baseball will be coming on. I do the same thing with baseball. I kind of keep up with it. I half watch it. I don't watch a lot of games straight through unless I'm actually at the game. Right. And when I'm at the game, I don't care to leave early, even if my team's losing big time, because you never know what can happen. I enjoy to pay the money. I want to be there. But same with football. I've watched, it's like for the Lions, I probably only watched couple of games this year straight through. That's only because I happened to be home when they were on. Usually they're on while I'm working, so I just half listen to them on the radio. Right. I'm basically just dipping in as I'm going along. So, but with the Super Bowl, we got a bunch of movie trailers. But I've got a bunch of them pulled up. Yeah. But I have a couple. Go ahead.
I thought this was smart on the movie companies because it's so expensive to advertise during Super Bowl this year. Instead of playing the full trailer, they just did a quick snippet and said, go to our website to watch it.
Right. So spending $7.2 million or something like that for each 30 seconds. They did a 30-second ad, say go online and see it. Yeah. And it was immediately on YouTube. But I've got like 5 trailers pulled up. Not all were during the Super Bowl. One, though, I find very interesting is coming to Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Jake Gyllenhaal, Roadhouse.
Oh, yeah. This I
And
think this
actually,
looks like it should go to theaters.
yes.
Before we start, do you have insurance?
What?
Your coverage good? Like you have dental?
Oh, haha.
Is there a hospital nearby? Is it like too far?
About like 25 minutes, I'd say.
I just slapped you. Are you all right?
What?
So you like to fight?
The whole fight is bitch slapping him.
Yeah.
No one ever wins a fight.
What I like is it has lines from the original movie, but it is a different basic story.
And they really filmed that during a UFC event.
Yeah.
I'll move it.
A friend of mine suggested I come talk to you. I own a roadhouse out in the Florida Keys. Lately, it's been attracting the wrong clientele. I can pay you good money. Judging by your car, you need that.
Well, I like my car.
Think about it.
I know who you are. Elwood Dalton. Big fan, man.
That guy's got a knife under his shirt. You just take a big step back, pop me in the face. You can do it.
Tell me about this bounty.
Yeah, it's all nice, like he's Mr. Rogers or something, but then he'll haul off. Really interesting guy overall.
Brand wants to take the roadhouse away from me. He wants to build some resort.
I should warn you. People have a certain way of getting things done around here.
Hey, fella.
Conor McGregor.
Having a smashing night. Dalton! I got a tip for you. Don't let no one get this close.
Let me guess. Threaten me. Tell me to get out of town. I get the impression that he can't be threatened.
Once Knox is on the job, it's over, baby.
It takes a lot to get me angry, but when I am, I just can't let go. People seem a little aggressive around here.
Is that one a friend of yours?
No, I just broke his arm.
Yeah, it looks good. For me, I think putting Conor McGregor in there because he's so well known, though, kind of takes me out of the movie.
Well, I thought it was fine.
But-
The problem is with this movie is it's not going to have the best line by one of the best actors. You're not going to have Sam Elliott walking in going, "So this is the double douche."
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
for what it was, if it wasn't called Roadhouse, I think it looks fine. Being on Prime, I actually probably would go see it in the theater because it looks like it might be fun.
I think I would.
But I'll definitely watch it on Prime. And if it wasn't called Roadhouse, it still looked like an interesting movie.
Yeah, with this movie, this is where a trailer does its job in my mind. For me, I had zero interest in a Roadhouse remake. Didn't want to see it at all.
Yeah.
But then when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, I do want to see this now. So
Yeah.
it worked for me, the trailer. It was successful.
And it's not even a full remake, as it's more of a reimagining. And I like that they take the Dalton character and gave him a completely different backstory.
Yeah. And like looking at Jake Gyllenhaal there, I want to be an actor now just to get back in shape because I'll tell you what, actors now are just in insane shape.
Well, I mean, we're back into with a lot of this stuff like this is it was kind of like it was the Stallone and Schwarzenegger era of the 80s and Dolph Lundgren. Those guys were in great shape. Even Bruce Willis was in good shape for Die Hard.
Yeah.
But we're seeing it even to a more level between him, guy like Gyllenhaal, what's his name from the the High School Musical stuff, Zac Efron.
Oh yeah. But that's what's amazing is the modern day actor can get into this insane shape in like 10 weeks.
Well, and that's the other thing is there's a lot more training, a lot more understanding of nutrition, a lot better
performance drugs.
Yeah, as I say, a lot better drugs,
testosterone.
So, but yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I was surprised because when I saw it a couple weeks ago, I meant to mention it on the air and I kept forgetting to. So I was like, thinking about trailers, like, oh, I got to show Roadhouse, you know. But still, the Swayze Roadhouse is still one of the epitomes of 80s action movies. And the only thing I took here was you got the name Dalton. Brand is the bad guy. I'm sure the Conor McGregor is the guy from prison. They showed the doctor, so there's a doctor involved. I don't know how much of a love story's on this one versus something else. It's a different owner for the Roadhouse type than what the other one
Right.
was, and it's set in the Keys versus middle of nowhere, Missouri.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna watch it for sure.
Yeah. I think it could have got released in the theaters, and maybe it will for like a limited run somewhere. But
Well, the other thing is they're embracing what they are.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be a fun a male fighting fantasy movie. It's somebody going around kicking butt.
Yeah.
That's what we all want, you know. And I think, and he got in phenomenal MMA shape. He looks like he could be an MMA fighter. And they filmed that during the UFC event. They had the full UFC crowd and everything. Even the weigh-ins they did during official weigh-ins. So that's the real scenario there, and he looked just as good as the other fighters up there.
Well, I have a feeling UFC was a sponsoring partner.
Oh yeah, how they do their paid promotional inserts.
Yeah, it's just like WWE's done movies over the years just to get their name out there more in different brand and that. So, but I think this year's movies, and this is kind of the theme of the 5 I have, are going to be reimaginings, remakes, and sequels. So the next one here I thought was interesting was they're doing a movie based on The Fall Guy with Ryan
I have not
Gosling.
seen this yet. The trailer, I heard about it though.
Yeah, this doesn't look bad. A little different than the TV series.
2, 1, action.
So good.
Oh, good.
Shot to the heart, and you're too late, darling. You give love a bad name.
Anyone but him. I didn't approve him. You know that. You are literally the last person on earth I want to see slap the shit out of you. I really could.
And I'm open to that in a safer environment.
You want a ghost? No phone call, no text.
It's not like I didn't want to apologize.
You don't have to explain anything. It was just a flame. So how have you been? God, I hate that thumbs up stunt guy stuff. I'm the director.
We're gonna set this man on fire.
You're a stunt guy. We need to keep it super profesh.
Profesh is my middle name.
You said your middle name was Danger.
How'd we do, boss? Really?
Yeah.
Holster that.
Yeah, it's holstered. It's done. Forget. You never saw it.
Tom Ryder, the biggest action star on the planet, is missing. You need to bring him back on. Jodie's movie is dead.
Why me?
You're a stuntman. Nobody's gonna notice you. That's your job. No offense.
I mean, some taken.
You find Ryder, save Jodie's film. You get the love of your life back.
I'm not the hero. I'm just the double.
Not today, you're not.
Tom, we really need you back on set, pal.
Dead body on ice.
He was so dead, Gail. He was super dead.
He's got himself involved with some shady people.
I had no choice. I had to do something. Jason Bourne shit. They were trying to kill me. And not in a fun way. You can make it, you can make it. You can't make it. It's too dangerous. Gotta be stairs.
What happened to your face? You look terrible.
You look amazing.
You fall down, you get right back up. How far would you go for the one that you love?
I'll buy you a drink when this is over. Engage your core.
Yeah, boy. Stop.
Let's do it later. Want to go to a beach somewhere?
Drink a spicy margarita.
Make some bad decisions.
Yes.
Well, gets me is that one gets a theater release. So I'm gonna have to go see that. It's definitely not the Fall Guy from the Lee Majors era.
Right. But I think they came up with a good premise as to why he, he's kind of working to save a movie, so they're sending him
Right.
because no one knows his face and stuff.
Which works for a movie to be saving a movie, which is kind of funny on that. Personally, though, I think this movie, and I've never seen the Barbie movie, but this is what Ken did when he realized he could be Knuff. And he went off and became a stuntman.
There you go. I like it.
So, a little break here. I've kind of got this planned out a little bit on how to show these. You saw Wicked on this theater. I saw it this past weekend.
Yes.
So let's talk about that just for a few minutes, and then I'm going to show the
Yeah.
trailer for the movie.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I had never seen it before. How many times have you seen it now? 6, 7?
7, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you were at 6 before you saw it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Really, story wise, it was kind of a reimagining of imagining of what the origin story of the Wicked Witch was. I enjoyed it. I think it's a little. At the time they created Wicked, I think it was more original, but now it's kind of cliche. Now all the bad guys always have to have a redeeming storyline to make them into a good guy, and the good guys are really the bad guys. I think it was more original back when this came out, but it seems like it's an overdone storyline now.
Right.
But other than that, I really enjoyed it. I really did. And
yeah. Well, I mean,
do I want to see it as a movie? I don't know.
The musical stage production is based on the original novelization. The novel, which is like yay thick, was a complete reimagining of who the Wicked Witch of the West was. Right. I've not really read the L. Frank Baum books. I've actually been thinking about going back and maybe starting to read them a little bit.
Me too. I've been wanting to do that for a while.
Because I don't know how much he did a origin of the Wicked Witch of the West, or was the Wicked Witch of the West just there? And that was just a bad character. That's what you have. And that when it became public domain from the original book, that's when this guy wrote his stories. He's got like 2 or 3 novels based on that. I was going to pull them up real quick. See if I can...
it's a guy who wrote this?
Yeah, it was.
It feels like a female writer to me.
Gregory Maguire.
Okay.
Well, he took the that's where they remember the movie with Jack Nicholson. He's a writer, and how do you write women so well? I take away all reasoning and and whatever, and
I imagine a guy and then remove all reasoning and logic or something like that.
So yeah, something, yeah. But yeah, so it was, the first one was called Wicked, and it was the life and times of the Wicked Witch of the West. But yeah, Gregory Maguire is a novelist, been around for a long time. He's got Wicked, Son of a Witch, A Lion Among Men, Out of Oz, Confessions of a Ugly Stepsister is another book he did. So he's done a lot of these based on the fantasy stuff on that stuff. He's got a new one, I think it's called The Witch of Maricourt. It's called Volume 3 of Another Day. I don't know a lot about his different books. But I know that with the Wicked series, he did a few books based on that once it became public domain, and he could start doing that. But it's been like 25 years since the original Wicked book came out.
Yeah.
In that.
So 1999.
Yeah, so I think he's got one. Does it look at here? 1, 2, 3. He's got like 4 books. So Wicked, Son of a Witch, which I believe is probably about
a witch.
Yeah, I know. Son of the Wicked Witch of the West, and then A Lion Among Men. I think that follows the Cowardly Lion.
Now, do you know if all of these books he's doing, are they connected in their own universe that he's creating?
Yes, my understanding is it is all connected.
Okay.
So like the Son of a Witch, it says 6,000 strong cried in unison, hoping that the echo of their message would be heard in the darkest whatever. But as well as the highest office in the palace of the emperor, Elphaba lives. So in this book, the Wicked Witch of the West lives, and obviously her and Fiyero have had a kid. So, but that's what the original play was based on, the novel. And of course, being a play, it's not covered, but just the basics. So, and basically mirrors before Dorothy comes Oz, and then of course the second act is around the time Dorothy is in Oz.
Right. So you kind of see the scenes that are happening at the same time. Dorothy's doing her things. You see these other things happening.
Right, like the point when the witch had her locked up, there's a whole scene, and she basically lifts up the thing on the stage and yells at her to shut up,
Yeah.
which was kind of funny in that. I thought it was a very good production. Of all the ones I've seen, this is definitely one of the topper ones.
Visually fantastic. It's
It's a
amazing visually.
it's a better visually in a bigger space like the Opera House in Detroit versus when I've seen it in Toledo or even the Fisher Theater, which are both good venues. Don't get me wrong, and I would go see them in those venues again. The thing about the actors on it was good. I believe I've seen the Alphaba before that I saw because she's done the touring from like 2016 to 2019, and I'd seen
Yeah.
it a couple times in there. So I'm pretty sure I saw her there. The gal that played Glinda / Galinda, I thought she was fine. The first half, I thought she was really tries too hard to um, imitate Kristen Chenoweth, who originated the role on Broadway. The way their opera stuff, so like I thought was a little sometimes the way she does a little too much. And that, but it's always when I watch, I always feel like even though you know it, I always see something I feel like is different or I forgot. So it does kind of come across fresh every time.
Yep.
And we were up in the mezzanine balcony area. So we were right on eye level when the witch does the thing, defy gravity, and she's rising up the stage. So we were like on eye level with her.
So if you looked up from where you were to the very far back wall all the way up, we were one row from the very far back.
Still not a bad location though. You still see everything.
You could see that when you're up that high. The nice thing is you see the choreography really well and how people are moving about on stage and stuff. So that's the cool thing about a play is no matter where you're at, you will see different things.
Yeah,
So,
but they do have a movie coming out, and I was going to share the trailer here. I'll be honest, I haven't been thrilled about a movie version of this, mainly because I don't care for the actor playing Glinda. Because I'm not an Ariana Grande fan. I didn't like her from her thing she did several years ago, where she was caught licking donuts and talking about how people in America are fat and disgusting, and she basically hates America. But then also she becomes this darling, and that's my personal political opinion on that. So, but here's this right now. So,
the best way to bring folks together
Something has changed within
is to give them a real good enemy.
You're green.
I am.
Something is not the same.
Something just takes over me. And when it does, bad things happen. Once you learn to harness your emotions, the sky's the limit.
Bring her to me.
Don't be afraid. I'm not afraid. It's the wizard who should be afraid of me.
yeah, that trailer doesn't do much for me personally.
I think the visuals of Oz look neat, but again, doesn't, and it's supposed to be based on the musical with the book, so they'll be expanding the story, some probably adding new songs in.
Yeah,
but will it have? I don't think so.
Here's the thing that amazes me, though. It shows the brilliance of the original Wizard of Oz movie. That no matter what, I mean, it's been like almost 100 years since it came out. Or
it's been came out in 1939.
39. So
yeah, the original novels came out. The original novels came out like 120 years ago.
Right, but visually, it so defined the Wizard of Oz that to me, anytime they come out with any product, I try to watch it. It always feels like a cheap knockoff.
Yeah,
even compared to the original Wizard of Oz. Correct me if I'm wrong on this. When they play it and we see it on TV and stuff, it's not like Star Wars where Lucas has come out with 5 updated versions to keep improving the visuals. We're still seeing how it was originally, I think. I don't think they've...
No, it's the original. The only thing they've done different is they've gone back and rescanned for better quality.
Correct. But they haven't changed. They didn't put CGI in to upgrade it.
No, nothing's been changed in the actual film. Just how they scan it for like 4K and 8K and all that stuff.
And even doing that, up holds up for the Tin Man, the Lion, the Scarecrow. The sets are just so beautifully done that this feels like a cheap knockoff with too much CGI in it.
Yep.
And compared to the original, I'd rather go back and watch the original and not even. And then the actresses like Ariana Grande, she looks very different with blonde hair, but it just doesn't feel like the right casting for that role. And the witch too, she doesn't look like a witch to me. She just looks like somebody with green skin. I don't know. I don't feel witch when I look.
Well, and I think the singing is going to be a big part of that with it being a musical.
True.
Because the one thing is that the Elphabas in the stage productions really have to carry it with the singing. The Glendas in that are usually be good too, and they together need to have a good harmony. But if they don't carry like that last little, it doesn't have the same impact as I've seen on stage, just in the trailer. So we'll see. I mean, it'll probably do well initially. See how long it holds up. There is 2 of them coming out. They're doing it in 2 parts. I don't know where they stop the first one before they start the second part. Is it just as the first part, like the stage, and the second part is the after part, and they've done a whole new story there, based on the other books,
Right. I feel like anytime a movie does a part 1 and part 2, it does bad.
Yes. And they announced it from the get-go.
Impossible didn't do as well. They did part 1. It didn't do as well as what it should have. Something about it doesn't work.
And I think that's the problem. And I think they announced that there is 2 of them. And of course the reasoning is like things like, well, they want to spend more time on the central friendship. They want to spend more time on this or that, and it's like, does it really need to be? Right. Are you going to spend too much time on this where people are like, I'm bored to death on this? Are we adding like 8 new songs in the middle where they're just beaming out friends and stuff like that? So,
well, even Harry Potter, the final movie was broken up into part 1 and part 2. I like don't even care about part 1 ever because it's just Ron walking for an hour moping. I go straight to part 2 and watch the finale.
It's not really. Ron's not anything. Actually, not in a lot of it. It's not Ron moping. They don't only show him. He leaves.
Well, that's what I mean is.
And it's what it is. It's Harry and Hermione.
Right.
But what they deal with, they had to deal with all that stuff, and then it got to the point where they basically had to end it at a point that was a little harsher because they had to kill Dobby at that point. But that was also there was a lot of story they needed to get off with them finding the Horcruxes, where it didn't feel like it was too rushed.
No, I understand why they did it. I'm just saying, as a standalone movie, the part 1s never work well.
I think that. I mean, it worked for Harry Potter, in my opinion, because of the amount of story. It doesn't work in a lot of different ones because they do it on purpose to, like the Hunger Games did not need to be 2 movies.
Correct.
It was dragged out way too long because they added stuff in there just to drag it out. Right. And they should have skimmed over it. Because realistically, if you read the books, as like I've said before, Hunger Games books, last book is them coming to her going, hey, we know you're crying and stuck in your head and nothing's going on. Here's what you missed. And you have to basically tell them.
As a reader, you're like, why couldn't you just follow them? I'd rather read what happened instead of hear the recount.
Being from her perspective was the worst way of doing the writing on that. But yeah, so with the Wicked movies, we'll see. I think announcing 2 movies right away was the worst way to go. They should have said we're doing a Wicked movie. And then when it comes out, then the surprise is, oh, hey, there's another one coming in a year.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Avatar movies. Oh, we got like 4 movies coming out, which we don't care if they come out. But now, so we're going to do all these movies ahead of time, and they're all going to be tied together. It's like, I don't need that,
Right.
So it's crap. So, but this one is another reimagining.
Twisters, that's right.
Yes. / sequel.
I was trying to figure out if this is a sequel or a remake or what. Because some of the scenes look exact.
Guys, whatever's in there, it's big and it's moving fast. Drive. Go, 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 go! Guys, you gotta get out of here. It's Tyler Owens. Calls himself a tornado wrangler. If you feel it, chase it! I said if you feel it, chase it! All right, here we go. Oh, she's perfect!
She's gorgeous.
You thought you could destroy a tornado.
We never had a chance.
You want one? You don't face your fears. You ride them.
We got twins! Twins!
Is that it?
Nope.
And we got to pause.
Yeah, that one I will probably skip. It feels like a more remake than reimagine.
That's what I.
And doesn't do anything for me to see it. So Scott froze. I don't know if you noticed it or not. You there, Scott?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, you froze for a second there.
Yeah, for some reason it kicked me off the tether.
Okay.
Let's see if. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, you keep cutting out, but I hear you now.
Okay. All right. So hopefully it'll keep me connected.
Yeah.
Don't know what happened there.
Yeah, technology. So
Yep. All right.
Yeah, I'll probably skip the Twisters. Here, Helen Hunt. I think she makes an appearance. I think, but
Does she?
I'm sorry. The original one was fun as it was. This one again looks like they're trying to recreate that with more action. This one we got 2 Twisters.
Yeah.
That feels like the cheesy gimmick of we're gonna do a second one. We'll just call it Twisters.
Yeah.
So, but of course, this is a movie I am waiting for. Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh yes.
Happy birthday to you.
All right, okay. It's been a challenging few years, for sure. But I'm happy. That is because of each and every one of you. I'm the luckiest man alive.
Make a wish, buddy.
Wade Wilson? Who's asking? Whoa, 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 whoa. Is that supposed to be scary? Pegging isn't new for me, friendo, but it is for Disney.
Mr. Wilson, you appear to have soiled yourself while unconscious.
I wasn't unconscious. Who are you? Why am I here?
Walk with me. Wade, you are special. This is your chance to be a hero among heroes.
I smell what you're stepping in, Sensei. Your little cinematic universe is about to change forever. I'm the Messiah. I am Marvel Jesus.
God, please! Oh my God! God, I love this part. Wait!
Don't just stand there, you ape. Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much.
Looks good.
Yeah, and they're tying in the TVA, so I assume.
Yeah, it only took 2 years for Marvel to bring the TVA into the storyline.
Yeah, so now they're gonna probably collapse everything back down.
Yeah, I think him saying it's about to change forever or whatever.
Yep.
I think is a sign that this is going to be the defining movie to shift the the path for Marvel. Maybe we'll see.
Yep. Get away from the Kang storyline, which has failed, and
Yeah,
and
I
you-
do think.
so.
I do think we saw Doctor Doom in it. There's a scene there where this thing, everyone's saying it's Pyro, because when you see Pyro sitting there, you see the mask up front. But if you really look close, it looks like somebody's wearing that mask. And the goggles are off. It looks like the mask is on somebody, and his head turns a little bit. So
Okay.
that would mean that that's a separate person than Pyro in that scene. So I'm wondering if that's going to be the introduction to Doctor Doom.
Well, they say they're going to bring Doctor Doom in. So
Yeah. But a lot of
And
people are
they-
like, no, it's Pyro, you idiots. Just look at open your eyes. But it looks like the mask is on somebody in the scene you see Pyro.
yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. I like that. At the beginning, we got his Task Force X. We see a lot of those people. They're all back, at least for that little scene, which is nice.
My only complaint is I wish they had Owen Wilson in it talking to Deadpool.
Yeah, that'd been cool. Now I pulled up a site here. It talks about what we see. Like when he sees the TVA monitors, it's showing Avengers: Age of Ultron and Thor: Ragnarok on the screens.
Yeah.
And then he salutes the Captain America Winter Soldier. The Shield helicarriers in the wastelands there. There's a comic to the left away when he's laying on the ground. It's teasing 2027's Avengers Secret Wars.
Okay.
So, I mean, people really picked this apart. So, and then let's see here. Yeah, that one scene though, where with the thing that comes around, it says, this one here says they think it's a version of Doctor Doom.
That's what I think. And everyone online is saying, no, it's Pyro, you idiots. So
I don't know. I think I see a little hint of green in the picture here. Let me share this.
That looks like that early version of Doctor Doom to me.
Yeah.
Now with Pyro, here, let me see if I can find that screenshot. Pyro Deadpool.
So yeah, he's a little different. He could be Pyro. I mean, you look at him, he's a little different in the mask than Doctor Doom, but you see the green though. So
let's see. I'm trying to find a still shot of that scene. Images. Here it is. So unless he has like an army of people wearing the same outfit, there's definitely somebody else in here. Let me share.
Well, here's this one here of Pyro.
That yeah. See, in the foreground, there's definitely an eye under there. Yeah, see. Do you see it?
Yeah, let me pull back up. There we go.
There it goes. So there's somebody wearing that mask in that shot. Whereas online, they're like, no, his mask, you can see it's right there. But somebody's wearing it. It's not him.
Well, let me go back up here because we see a close shot of him.
See, and those are different goggles there.
Well, it's different coloring on the uniform too. The outfit.
Right. Yeah. I think that's Doctor Doom is what I think.
Well, they are tying in the
Doctor Doom has that green cloak.
Right. And in the background, the giant logo, that's the 20th Century Fox logo that's been destroyed. So I mean they're really pulling from everywhere for this little trailer. And I think that with a lot of this stuff here, they're telling us a lot of stuff. They told us almost nothing.
Right.
So, and I think that's about.
But I'm looking forward to it. I think this might be the definitive multiverse story for Marvel, and then hopefully they start steering away. Use this to wrap it up.
Right.
And then you can reshape your universe based on Deadpool is the troublemaker. He combined timelines. Now we have mutants, and just move forward and stop acknowledging it. And in the process, he somehow killed the Eternals and got rid of that giant statue sticking out of the ocean.
Yeah, because they've still never acknowledged that.
I know.
But they supposedly have started filming Thunderbolts.
Yes, I saw that. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah. So
but cool. I'm looking forward to those.
Yeah, so we'll see. Yeah.
I think wait a minute. The Wicked one I wasn't crazy about, and then there was another one that I said I probably won't watch, Twisters. So the other three I was interested in.
Yeah, I definitely gonna watch the Roadhouse one on Prime. The Fall Guy, I have to go see that one. That one might be seen. Yeah.
And then Deadpool, of course.
Yeah, Deadpool. So But I mean, I think there's a few other trailers, but those are the key ones I wanted to focus on because I thought they were kind of neat. I know the commercials, of course, I've never been to the level they were back in the '90s with the the Budweiser commercials, things like that. That everybody references. I did like the Dun Kings one with the Dunkin' Donuts with Affleck and them. I thought that was funny because I liked Matt Damon basically going, "It's so hard to be your friend." So that one I did like, but most commercials were not.
Most of them were forgettable.
Yeah, so didn't really care. And I think it's kind of how it's gone anymore with the commercials. Is they're just like, we got to throw something on there, and people are gonna like it regardless. No, and people say they watch it for the commercials. I don't even watch it for the commercials anymore.
Yeah.
So,
there you go.
That's all I got this week, man.
All right. Well, I'll give a quick review here. We're running out of time. Argyle. I was looking forward to this movie. I don't know how it got 71% on the audience score. It completely sucked. I was really looking forward to this. Argyle is with you got Henry here. I'll play this in the background here. Just I'll mute it though.
I certainly hope you don't.
So it's got Henry Cavill in it, and John Cena's in it also. Basically, it's about a spy novelist who writes these spy stories, and her stories are amazingly accurate. And so these different spy organizations are after her because they want to see what the next chapter in her novel is, because everything keeps coming true. So that's the basic storyline. Dallas Bryce Howard is the writer in this. It just sucked. I enjoyed the first half of the movie. Jill despised every moment of the movie. I liked the first half. But the problem is with this movie is it just becomes twist upon twist upon twist upon twist upon twist. It's just like, oh, wait, there's more. And it's like, it got to the point people were leaving the movie.
Wow.
People were getting their coats and leaving because they were so fed up with how dumb this movie was. They have these, I don't know why Hollywood is insisting on stupid musical scenes in movies that aren't musicals. Stop it. It's stupid. They're doing this fight scene, and they're doing this choreographed dance as they're shooting all these assassins. And it's like, what the hell is this? It's so bad. And every time you're actually hoping the movie is now done. Oh, wait, there's a twist. And now we have another 10 minutes, and you would hear people sigh like, ugh. You would actually hear it. That's how bad this movie is. The best part was that it was over. Jill wanted to actually leave. She was mad at me. I'm like, just stay. It's got to be over soon. It's got to be over soon.
So how long is it?
It felt like 4 hours, but it's not.
Oh my God.
It felt like it though. When she's like, see this scene, this is it. This is the dance scene while they're fighting bad guys. It's like, oh my God. It was so bad. Yeah. And the twist, basically, there were so many twists. Each time they would do a twist, it would undo the need for the previous 10 minutes you watch. So it's just like, okay, so we didn't even have to go through this last 10 minutes because it was irrelevant. Now they have to figure out something else to do. So,
well, and you can see this. Here's a review here. It says this bonkers spy caper is completely nonsensical and loads of fun. Wait a minute. If it's nonsensical, then it can't be loads of fun. I'm sorry. That's an oxymoron right there.
It's not loads of fun when people are leaving the theater.
Yeah.
And people are sighing that it's not over yet. That's not loads of fun. So I think they paid people, or I don't know. I don't know who left these reviews, but.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. You look at the last weekend. It did 6.2 million, and it was the number one film on the weekend.
Yeah.
So obviously there ain't crap out, and it's 2 hours and 19 minutes is what they say the runtime is.
Well, the other proof that there's nothing out, Beekeeper is still out. That's been out for like 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's still top 5. Yeah, this came out. Yes, Argyle came out February 2nd.
Yeah.
So this was the second week it was out.
Yeah.
And it's done $29 million to date, 60 million worldwide. So yeah, that's an abysmal failure.
It probably did about 45 million, but then they had to refund 16 million to people who are leaving early.
Yeah. No, that's
So,
pretty sad. Yeah,
it's
I
been a
saw
while
the
since I've seen people leaving a theater.
I saw the trailer for this. I was on the fence either way. I was like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I like the Kingsman, the first couple of Kingsman movies.
Yeah.
The one they did that was the prequel really wasn't that good.
Yeah.
And seeing some more of this trailer, I'm kind of going, yeah, this doesn't feel like a good cohesive story that you really want to get into. If you're going to throw a million twists in, I'm sorry, we don't need a million M. Night Shyamalan twists.
Yeah, it's and especially when the twists undo everything you've seen up to that point. It's like then you could have just shortcutted it, and it almost felt like they had a movie, and then in committee everybody started presenting their idea. Well, wouldn't it be cool if we did this? Well, what if we did this? What if we did that? And then they just threw it all in. That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah,
Kind of like the whole Kevin Smith with the giant robot spider. Well, we have to put this in because I'm paying for the movie, kind of things.
Yeah.
What if we dance sequence in the middle of a fight? Okay, yeah, let's do that.
Well, I mean, in terms of movies coming out, the Bob Marley one opened today. That one doesn't look too bad.
I want to see that one.
And but the Madam Web, I definitely am not going to go see.
Oh, that is getting trashed.
Yeah, that one I saw. They say it is just. It sounds even based on the reviews, even worse. What you say Argyle was. So it sounds like that's just gonna be horrible. And
that is getting trashed.
And I think the only people are gonna like it are those that say they like every superhero aspect movie, whatever. And those are people that are just blinded by stupidity.
It's the people who just want all female everything. They don't care if it's good or not. As long as it's all female, that's all they care about. That's who's going to like the movie. It's a crap movie from every single source I've read.
Right.
So not which isn't a surprise when I first saw the trailer. I'm like, oh, there's a bomb.
Yeah, well, you and I talked about that and on here even before. And it's funny, and I saw a post up. I said, "Yeah, this looks like crap." I think you post something crap, and someone we know. So why is everybody crapping on all the superhero movies right away without seeing them? I'm like, "Did you see the trailer? The trailer looks like crap. It doesn't look like anything good." And that's the whole thing. It's not crapping on superhero movies as a whole. It's crapping on crappy movies.
Well, it comes back to we write stories. Brett has his series. I have mine. We are writers in addition to artists. And at the core of every story, the question you have to ask yourself as a writer is, why am I telling this story?
Right.
Is this story needed? And when your reason for writing a story is just solely, well, I want to force an all-female team up, and that's all you have for a story. No, that's a way of carrying the story's message, but that's not the story. And so they keep coming up with these hollow storylines because they just have this agenda to push a specific thing that's in somebody's head, but they don't have a story.
Right.
Stories have arcs. They have character development. They create one-dimensional characters because they weren't even inspired. They don't even want to do the story itself. They just want the on-screen presence of 5 females as the lead. That's all they want.
Yeah. Well, it's just like I said, we talk about this, and I always use the Ghostbusters female edition as the comparable one. It's not about the gender of the actors. It's not about the gender of the characters. It's about the story they tell. And if you want to have 5 females, fine. Tell a good story.
Tell the good story first. Come up with your story first. Then you cast to tell that story. And if the casting is best represented by 5 females, do it. That's great.
Yeah. But a lot of these films, like you said, it feels like I have this great idea and they have a million ideas, but no cohesive story. So we're just going to throw it out there and this is what they get. And if they don't like it, then they're racist, sexist, and everything else they want to come up with. No, you told a shitty story. Sorry.
But first, we're going to tell you how this movie isn't for you. Yeah. So that when you don't go, we can say how horrible you are for not seeing it. But we told you ahead of time. We made this to make you uncomfortable.
Yeah, when I started seeing that, I'm like, okay, I won't go see your movie then. If it's not for me, you just told me it's not for me.
I'm not spending $20 to be uncomfortable.
Right. So it's got
to have fun.
Yeah, Madam Web's got a 17% tomato meter on Rotten Tomatoes. Audience score won't hit until after today, I think. The Bob Marley one is showing 40%.
Which critics are usually tougher on movies.
Right. But at the same time, it's like the Dirt, which was on Netflix, which is the Motley Crue movie, got 37%. I like that. Right. The trailer I like for Bob Marley looks really good. Tells his story.
Well, that's where I was hopeful with Argyle. They had like a 38% rating on critics, but a 71% for audience.
Yeah.
And usually when it's that kind of a balance, usually it's actually a fun commercial.
Yeah, but
movie.
I think what we're seeing more and more
But
with the audience side is
it's
these
getting
studios paying people to go
Yep.
on and do
That's
these
what I
good
think too.
reviews.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
So I want to just throw up one more thing before we get off.
Yeah.
We got the Crown season 6. It's the final season. This Jill and I have been we kind of went through 4 or 5 episodes all in just 2 nights. We still have one or two, I forget how many episodes are in this season, but we're really enjoying it. You might recognize the Queen here. That's I will not tell lies in Harry Potter.
Oh, Dolores Umbridge.
Yes, that's the actress who plays Dolores.
The actress
Umbridge.
is a phenomenal actress in a lot
She
of
is.
different things.
And if you know her as Dolores Umbridge, it's a little weird when you first, like, season 5 is when this actress gets cast to play the older queen. It's a little weird because you know her as Dolores, but she owns this role, and you quickly forget about her as Dolores, and you start seeing her as queen in this. And she does a phenomenal job. All the actors do. The actress who plays Princess Diana is amazing. You totally forget you're watching a series. You feel like it's her. But the end of season 5 takes you to leading up to the moment of, her final night in Paris there before the accident. And then this season deals with the crash and the aftermath that everyone goes through because of that crash. So it's been, I think for me, because I have such vivid memories of that event, it kind of ties me more to the storyline because I can remember what was happening at the time. Whereas the older stuff, that was kind of, when I was 10, I didn't watch royal family stuff, and I didn't pay attention to them. So it was cool from a historical aspect watching that. But this season really kind of grabs you because you remember when they told this stuff, and it's amazing how many of the details they make sure to get in there, and you're like, oh, I remember seeing that, So I recommend it. If I'm not like I wouldn't be, no one would consider me a Royals fan.
Right.
I really don't care about the royal family, but I do feel like the entire series is very well done.
I watched the first 3, and then when they got more modern times, I stopped watching. Because to me, I wasn't interested in the modern time stuff. I just wanted to see the previous stuff.
The old stuff.
So I'm interested to see though if this last season takes it up through her death.
Yeah, well, this is supposed to be the final season, so
right, and I knew that. So I wonder if they take it up through her death, or do they stop like a year or 2 before, or prior to. Well, is Prince Philip still alive in this season?
So far,
okay.
So
they even got to that part too. So maybe they'll just kind of end at a certain point prior to them both dying. Because that was only a couple of years apart.
They could easily do, if they wanted to, kind of a epilogue at the end, covering.
Right.
Maybe addressing it. We'll see. We're still in when was that? The early 90s when she died? I forget what year it was, but late 80s, early 90s, when Princess Diana passed. So that's where we're at right now in this.
Well, she died in 97, I believe it was.
Was it that late?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. No, it was
Wow.
they got divorced in the early 90s.
Okay. Let's see when she died. She died. Yep, you are so good with your memory. August 31st, 1997.
Yep.
Look at that. Off the top of your head, you got the year right.
Well, you hear it enough, so
I'm like, in 1942, I think she passed. It was sometime around there.
It had to be the 80s, man. 80s,
Well, see, here's in my mind, but so it obviously happened after my college years. I was living at home at the time, and my memory is my sister at 3 a.m. comes into my room and wakes me up. She's like, Princess Diana's dead. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I'm waking up, and then she went and told my mom, and then we all went downstairs and turned on the news at like 3 a.m. and watching the live coverage. So in my head, it's like, oh, I must have been in high school for my sister to be coming in and saying that.
I got home. I want to say I got home from a movie because it happened, the night in the evening. And Mom told me, she's like, Princess Diana died. I was like, what? We had the news on at that point. It was like 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Okay.
And so, and it was like, yeah, it's like, and so it was they got chased by the paparazzi, all that other stuff. I looked at where this ends on for the season. They have it on IMDb, so it doesn't go through her final days, but I think it's got a good point where it'll be that would be a solid ending for the series, since everything else from that point on is in the last like 15 years. So.
Well, and here's the thing: the way they do this, they usually do 2 seasons with a set of actors, and then they hire older actors for the next group of years for the next 2 seasons. So if this is how they're ending it, there's a lot in there they could put if they ever decided to do 2 more seasons.
Right. It looks like they're ending it around her 80th birthday.
Okay. So, yeah. So they could definitely do another 2 seasons down the road if they choose.
Yeah. And maybe because it's such a only like 17, 18 years, they're probably saying, okay, that's because of social media, the internet, stuff like that. All that stuff's out there more than it was prior to the internet. So they're able to do more. They can still do dramatic with it, but probably fits better ending at a certain point. And then probably they'll have something at the end about here's, when they passed or whatever. So,
well, what I would like to see, I would like to see 2 more seasons. And if they took a little break to see how things play out, but Charles becomes such a center point of the storyline, and how just his lack of love from his mother, the queen, and his insecurities and how his life developed. I think it would be interesting to see the changeover and how Charles takes on the mantle of king, and then maybe even a transition to William. We'll see what happens. Charles announced he has cancer. Who knows where that's at? It sounds like they're saying it's a good prognosis, but they could be lying too. We don't know.
Right.
So,
there's supposed to happen the last just several years. The whole thing with, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, that whole scandal for that, and all that's played out in the media. So a lot of ways it's like, why go do a show on that when it's just been playing out? Now, like I said, you wait 10, 12 years, maybe he's going to, he passes, he's 75 or something like that. So he's going to not live. He might live another 20 years. He's getting sick with cancer and other stuff. Typically, when you're that age, he's only going to be around another 10 years on average, I would say. But
now, and Queen Elizabeth,
not that I wish death on anybody.
Oh no, we're not saying that at all.
So,
but Queen Elizabeth did have cancer at one point too.
Yeah.
It wasn't publicized much, but she did have cancer. She fought it, and she lived to be, what was she, late 90s?
96.
96 she made it to.
Yep.
Philip, I think, was it just before he turned 100, or did he hit 100? I can't remember.
Let me see here. He was born, or no, he was married. He was, it was just before he turned 100, like 2 months.
Yeah. Let's see. So Queen Elizabeth, she had bone marrow cancer. It was a very painful treatment she suffered through, but they kept it all quiet from the public. So
I think with his, it came out because they came out with the stuff that his son's wife's going to, what's her name? I'm blanking her. Catherine. Kate?
Who? Williams?
Yeah, Prince William's wife. Yeah.
Kate Middleton.
So she's had her health issues. So then I think that came out. I think, I'll be honest with you, in some ways I heard it was like 3 days later, like this is what she's going through. She's stepping back. They come out, they're dealing with that stuff. And also it's like, oh, hey, by the way, I got cancer. It's like going back in the news. So,
yeah.
But again, I'm not a royalist either, so that is what it is.
Yeah, I'm not, and I enjoy the series. So if that's something, if you are a royalist, I would think you would love this series. But
Possibly.
just purely, the way the visuals, the cinematography of it, I feel like they capture the moods very well. The acting is top notch. The only hard part, like I said, every 2 seasons they switch up the entire cast.
Yeah,
and they do a little time jump. So and part of the problem is when they do the switch up, they just assume who is who. So all of a sudden you're watching like, who's this guy? And then like 2 episodes, 3 episodes in, you're like, oh, that's her press secretary. Okay. And so it takes a little bit of getting used to. And then, so you just got to get through those jarring reintroductions. But once you get through that, then you love the next cast. And then they switch it up and you're like, oh, they changed it again.
Yeah. I did like the Matt Smith era. That was a good era.
He did phenomenal. And that's the other thing. Each actor who's cast for these roles, they don't try to do an impression of the previous actor. They own it their own way.
Yeah.
And they do their own take. So it, like I said, there is a readjustment as a viewer where you get used to the new feel, but it works. It still works.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Well, hey, join us next week. We'll talk some more or whatever and go from there. And I don't know. We'll figure it out. We always do. So
that's right.
See y'all next week. Bye.
Yeah.